Hey everyone, I'm Brian, and I am, as you know, I'm a huge wrestling fan. You've seen my videos where I talked about wrestling, TNA, WWE. You've heard them and everything. So I'm here now to talk about Impact last night that took place in Las Vegas. I have to say it was a very good Impact. It's tremendous. I mean, TNA is really, up the ante, if you will, when it comes to the production values, the intros, the graphics, everything you could ever want TNA to kind of up to, they have done just that. Now, a few of the things that came out that I kind of find questionable about, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of you fans out there that find them questionable, is first of all, at the start of the program, we're actually a little into the program, we saw the formation of the Main Event Mafia. Now, a lot of fans are kind of questioning this right now, including myself, because this seems to be similar to the NWO. Because remember, when the NWO was part of WCW, it helped increase WCW's revenue and value. But in the end, as many have felt, put an end to WCW in 2001. But now the question is this going to work? Is the Main Event Mafia the key to TNA? My question is, I don't really know. But I do feel this could happen. Because when you look at the members of the group, you got Sting, you got Kevin Nash, you got Booker T, you got Kurt Angle. There's just one person in there I don't see that fits, and that's Sting. Because throughout his entire career, he's been a fan favorite. Now, if you look, at the end of the match, the post-match beatdown that they gave AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, you notice that Sting never lifted a foot, never touched him, nothing. He just walked around. Which tells me Sting might be the first guy out of the Main Event Mafia. Why? Because there's a few scenarios I think TNA might be working on. One, you got a group of guys that all want to be world champion, especially Kurt Angle and Kevin Nash. And don't think for a second someone like Kurt Angle is going to always want to rush to Sting's aid and help him keep the title. That's not going to happen. So I wouldn't be surprised that maybe before this year's out or at the beginning of 2009, Sting is out of the Main Event Mafia. It might be probably into the spring or something like that, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sting's the first one out. Now, as far as Booker T's Legends Championship goes, everyone has always been wondering why TNA has been asking the question, does TNA need another title? Well, a lot of fans have said that TNA doesn't need another title. A lot of people that do wrestling shows or talk about wrestling here on the YT, like I do sometimes, say they don't need an extra title. Well, guess what? TNA has that title in the Legends Championship. And what does that mean? Well, it means that obviously that's going to be a legit championship now, especially with Mick Foley in his new role in TNA, and I'll get to that in a minute. So what does that mean? That means that Booker T is the first Legends champion, but he's not going to be the last. So don't be surprised that when Booker T defends that title, and it looks like it's going to be against Christian Cage, a turning point, that either Booker T loses or Christian joins the Mafia. Do not be surprised. Now, going on to the other matches. As we know, Sheik Abdul-Bashir defeated Black Machismo Jay Lethal, and now it seems to be entering a program with Rhino. And obviously they're going to be fighting over the X Division title, which is kind of weird because the X Division title is kind of targeted more towards the cruiserweights or the lightweights of TNA. But let's not forget the slogan that they gave the X Division title when it first created. It's not about weight limits, it's about no limits. So, there's your answer right there. Then another match we saw, another championship match we saw, Awesome Kong, for the second time becoming TNA Knockouts champion. Will this reign go longer than her 6-month reign she had before, or will it be shorter? My guess is we might see a shorter reign, and we might see a new champion, not in Taylor Wilde, but in Roxy. That's right, Roxy will probably become the next Knockouts champion, and she might do it in a hardcore match. Just keep your eye on that. Keep your eye on that. Now, as far as the hardcore tag team gauntlet Texas, very good, very interesting. Not as hardcore as fans were hoping for. We did get a tease at the possible flaming table. Did not happen. And so it was pretty good, but not as hardcore as like I said, fans would hope for. But Beer Money, again, just like they did at Bound for Glory, screwing Team 3D out of the win, stealing the victory. Something tells me Team 3D slowly becoming a tweener team, maybe becoming a face team again because of Beer Money's involvement with them, and screwing them over. So don't be surprised if we see a Team 3D versus Beer Money match at Turning Point for the tag titles and possibly a very hardcore environment. Now, going on to the announcement from Mick Foley. Mick Foley announcing to the world, as we all know, who tuned into Impact last night, and if you haven't, turn down the volume right now, because if you're going to watch Impact's replay tomorrow morning on Spike, turn the volume down right now. But from what we have seen, Mick Foley's announcement is the fact that he is now an executive shareholder in TNA Wrestling. What does that mean? Well, it means obviously he's one of the bosses. He's one of the main people. That the superstars of TNA have to take orders from. So it's not just Jim Cornette or Tracy Brooks. You also got Mick Foley in there. So what does that mean? Well, it means a few things. One, I've got a feeling that the Impact tapings this upcoming week, either Tuesday and Wednesday, we are going to see possibly Mick Foley making Booker T's title legit and official. So in other words, Booker T can be the first champion, but it doesn't mean that title is his property. I've got a feeling that's going to happen. Two, we might see the dismemberment of the Mafia. Maybe. Just maybe we might see that. Who knows? It might continue. But the announcement of him being an executive shareholder, big time news for TNA, making him storyline-wise one of the bosses or main bosses that basically when the heels try to take an advantage or think they've got an advantage, takes that back away from them. Just like he did, he seems he's kind of in a similar role that he was in when he was the commissioner in WWE and for a short term the Raw general manager. So it's kind of similar, but maybe a little different. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of fans out there hoping that Mick Foley kind of throws out the rule book when it comes to certain matches. And also, it seems that we might be getting an Abyss versus Kurt Angle match at Turning Point as well. I'm not sure about that, but it looks like we could be heading in that direction. But also, we might end up having Jeff Jarrett versus Angle too. Because if Kurt Angle, storyline-wise, says he's going to visit Jeff's daughters, don't be surprised if they go in that direction, because wrestling companies have done that before. Kurt Angle did it when he was feuding with Sting a couple years back. The NWO, Hulk Hogan, did that with Ric Flair back in WCW. Do not be surprised if that happens, if TNA decides to go in that direction with Kurt Angle and Jeff Jarrett, instead of going to Kurt Angle Abyss match. But overall, like I said, Impact was pretty good. Really a great show. And that's all I have to say about it. And I hope you tune in to watch the replay. If you haven't seen Impact last night, I guarantee you're going to love it. So until next time, I'm Brian Walmer, signing off, saying God bless and take care.